Hi everyone, so in this video we will add MySQL to our Spring Boot application. Adding MySQL in Spring Boot is really easy. We can do this in 4 simple steps. So the first step will be adding the dependencies in the pom.xml. So let's open the pom.xml of our project. Here in the dependencies tab, we have to add 2 dependencies. So the first dependency is Spring Boot Starter Data JPA. For that, the group ID is org.springframework.boot and the artifact ID is spring-boot-starter-data-jpa. So we have added the dependency for Spring Boot Starter Data JPA. Now we have to add the dependency for MySQL. Here we are adding MySQL to our application, so we will need one connector. So for that we will add one dependency. The group ID for this dependency is MySQL. The artifact ID is MySQL-connector-java and the scope will be runtime because we will use the MySQL connector at runtime. So we'll add scope as runtime. So here we have added all the dependencies which we will need to add MySQL in our project. Let's move to the second step now. In the second step, we have to configure some of the configuration for MySQL server, like what is the URL, what is the username or password. These kinds of configuration we have to provide to the application. So to provide those configurations, we will open application.properties. Here we will add some configuration. So let's first just give this application a name. So the first thing is the dialect. Dialect is the one thing which is used to convert the JPA queries into the MySQL SQL queries. So this will decide what will be the generated syntax of a particular query. So for that we will add the property. The name of the property is spring.jpa.properties.hibernate.dialect equals to org.hibernate.dialect.mysql5 dialect. This is the name of the dialect for MySQL 5. Now the second thing is we have to add the URL for the database where the database is located. So the property name is spring.datasource.url equals to, so my database is in local, so here I will give jdbc colon mysql colon double slash localhost. This is where my database resides, colon 3306. This is the port number, slash, this will be the name of the database. So here we will give the name YouTube. So slash YouTube. Then the next thing is the username. The username over here is root. So we'll add the username like spring.datasource.username equals to root. And the password is password. For password we have the property as spring.datasource.password equals to password. So here we have one more property using which we can generate the database structure based on our entities, and this thing will be taken care by the application itself. That means we don't have to create the tables manually. For that we have one property, that is spring.jpa.hibernate.ddl-auto, that is auto generate the DDL, that is data definition language, and we can give it create or update. In case of create, it will create the structure every time whenever we start the application, but in case of update, it will create once and in subsequent run of the application it will update whatever is changed. Suppose we have created one table, And suppose we ran our application or we have started our application 5 times. So in case of create, it will create the same structure 5 times. Suppose we have saved some data in first or second run. So it will delete that data and it will create the structure completely whenever we run it. But in case of update, suppose we have added some data, that data will reside over there. But if we modify any table, suppose we have added some new columns in a table, so those changes will be accommodated as update. So the existing data will be there and the changes that we have done will always be there. Then the next property is show SQL, which is used to log the SQL statements which were executed in the database. That means suppose we are hitting a query select all from table, then this query will be printed in the console. For that we have this property spring.jpa.show-sql equals to true or false. If you want to see the queries, you will mark it as true, otherwise false. So this completes the second step. Let's move to third step now. So in the third step, we have to start the MySQL server. I have already installed this, and if you want to install MySQL server, I'll give the link in the description below from where you can get the steps to install it on your system. So I'll open the terminal and I'll start the MySQL server using a command which is mysql.server space start. So this will start MySQL server on my local, and this step is also complete. So we have completed the 3 steps for this. Now only step that is left is the fourth step. In this step we have to create the schema for the database. So in the fourth step we will create one database for our application. So here we will open MySQL Workbench. Here you have to add the connection to your MySQL server. If you have already connected with your MySQL server, you will get this tab over here from which you can go directly to the connection. But if you are doing this for the first time, from this plus you can click on this plus and you have to provide the name and path of your application and it will connect. But if you are connecting your database for the first time, so you have to add the connection. You can add a new connection using this plus. If you click on this plus, this pop-up will be there and here you have to fill the details like the name, URL, port and etc. Here you can see connection name is there, connection method is there, and host name, port, username and password. So these things you have to provide. Once you provide this, you can click on next. Once you have filled these details, you can click on test connection and it will give the result if is it connected correctly or it is not connected. If it connected correctly, you can click on OK and it will take you to that portal from where you can access your database. As I've done this earlier, so let me close it and click on this. Now I'm here. Here you can see we have a lot of databases. These databases I've created earlier. So here what we'll do is we will create a new schema. For that you have to click on this. We'll click on this, add database. So we are creating a new database schema. So for that we have to add the name. So the name of the application or the database is YouTube. So we'll enter YouTube and that's it. So we have entered YouTube and we will click on apply and it will create a database for us. Here you can see the created query and click on apply. So here you can see the SQL queries executed successfully. Now I'll close this and let's go to the schema. So let's expand the YouTube over here. Here we have four things, that is tables, views, stored procedures and functions. Once we will start developing our code, we will have multiple things over here. So we have completed all the four steps for connecting MySQL with our Spring Boot application. So before that we will do one thing. We will create one entity and we will start the application, and the table for that entity or the schema for that entity will be created automatically.